November here at Lake Stevens High School, WIIA quarterfinal state playoffs. It's Lake Stevens Vikings here, the home team against the Gonzaga Prep Bullpups. Boy, it's deja vu. Both of them faced each other same almost time, same channel last year. Lake Stevens was victorious 35-14, but 2022 is a whole new ball game as you see the smoke as the Vikings enter the field.
It's sulfurous.
Yeah, it is, and that is Scott Oshman here along with Steve Hollywood Hannon here for the broadcast. We're going to take a quick pause here as we get the color guard and our national anthem. Glad you're here on Les Schwab's presentation of STSPN Prep Sports WIAA quarterfinal football playoffs. Welcome back here. Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon here live at Lake Stevens High School here. They got the smoke going here, Steve, as it's a tradition when Lake Stevens comes out of the locker room here, but it's left it feels like 4th of July.
Yeah, it doesn't smell too good.
We're in a moment of silence here on the field. So welcome in as we get things going here. We have obviously Gonzaga Prep from the Greater Spokane League getting here. They got in mightily. Their toughest game against Moses Lake, got over that, and then they were victorious last week 40-27 over Kamaika and had to play that in the Tri-Cities. Lake Stevens also kind of a similar score, 42-27 over North Creek, the Jaguars, a relatively new school in the Bothell area, which is about 30-40 minutes from here, Steve. So both teams, Lake Stevens, they've been here many times. Gonzaga, they're no stranger either, right? It's two perennial powerhouses here in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, and they've seen each other before. Like you said, to start this thing off, we've seen this game before, just different kids, right? Probably very similar coaching staffs, and I'm sure they know each other pretty darn well by now and how they want to attack each other and how they want to defend each other's offenses. I think they know what they want to do. Now it's a matter of going out and executing the plan.
Glad you're with us here on STSPN. Gonzaga G-Prep in the white unis and Lake Stevens in the home purple tops there, as you see. As the crowd starts to get going, the travel over here from Spokane, and we hope to have a good one. Steve, we talked again, you're defensive coordinator. G-Prep, all they want to do, they're proficient runners. They run that wing. They know it's basically the old cliche. You know exactly what's coming, but can you stop it?
Yeah, and that's what they're hoping, right? That they can eke out those first downs while they're running the ball and hoping to keep Lake Stevens' offense off the field as much as possible by doing what they do best, which is run the football.
And that's what they're going to want to try and do here. Lake Stevens averages 40 a game as the kickoff Flanders in to receive it here. Take it from the 10. And take it down. Nice little return around the 28. And that's number 11, Bo Howell, the 6-foot senior for Gonzaga Prep. And that's where they'll start.
Yeah, we'll get a look right away here. You know, when you're running these specialty offenses like Gonzaga runs, this double wing veer option attack, how does that front four stand up for Lake Stevens? And it looks like they got 5 defensive linemen out there right now. So they're running a specialty defense against this offense.
JoJo Shortell, the quarterback, he gets it, hands it off, and that's the guy everybody's been walking over 1,100 yards. That's Lilo Mikalele, and he gets, and it will move the sticks. A Gonzaga Bullpups, that's a first down.
That is exactly how you want to start the game if you're Gonzaga. Lake Stevens comes out in a true 5-2 cover 3 defense, and Gonzaga runs right through them.
17 touchdowns coming in. Mikalele, man, he is special, and they have 4 other kids with over 400. Here's the quarterback going to take it himself. This time Lake Stevens stands JoJo up.
Yeah, they've got a lot of guys in the box. It'll be interesting how Gonzaga adjusts to the extra defensive linemen in the game.
Big up front are the Lake Stevens Vikings. You got Hendrickson, Ashton Hendrickson, the 6', 215 junior, as we set down 2nd and 9. This time Mikalele gets it. He has a little daylight, and he crosses into Vikings territory to the 47-yard line. And how do you stop Mikalele if you're the Vikings?
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, Gonzaga Prep's going to go into a fast-paced offense here.
Back in. This time the handoff. It's Mikalele again on the near side. And he'll get another Bullpup first down.
Yeah, this is the start that Gonzaga wanted. Lake Stevens still scrambling a little bit on defense, and I didn't know that Gonzaga ran this fast-paced offense like this. Is this something we don't know much?
No huddle. This time they get it. He'll pitch it out. New ball carrier. Another guy. He's got plenty of room on the left side. Finally taken down inside the 30-yard line. And that's the other. It's like a 4-headed monster. Nick Banky, the 6'1", 220 senior running back, Steve.
Yeah, this is what this offense can do to you. They pound it inside, and then they pitch it to the corners.
And here we go again. And they are just crunching down. There's Mikalele with the carry this time.
I think that's another first down.
Yeah, that is.
And that's what they want to do, Gonzaga. I don't think that they came in thinking that they were running 10 yards a play like they're doing right now, but they certainly want to keep those sticks moving.
Here we go, 1st and 10. This time they're going to pass. It's rare going to Banky. Yeah. It's caught, and he's inside the 5.
That's a great call because Lake Stevens is in cover 0, man-to-man. There's no safety in the middle of the field, and if you can slip past that strong safety, it's there if they want it.
Kalani on the tackle. Here we go. Mikalele gets it, trying to dive forward. This time, not going to get there. It'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Good job by the Lake Stevens defense right there. This is big now. This is this goal line defense, and this offense is built to score inside the 5. So let's see if Lake Stevens can bow up here on defense and stop them.
Grant Lynch for the Vikings on the stop. Here's Mikalele in the back. Shortell, now he gets Banky in motion. He stops and comes back.
They're going to look to the sidelines, yeah.
2nd and goal from the 3-yard line.
This is what the coach wanted. Oh, they took too long. Did they get the timeout in time?
We'll look down. Our officials tonight are White Hat Jeffrey Osmond, Omar Kadahi, Scott Rohn, Joey Fleck, and Reed Baker. And it's going to be a timeout on Gonzaga Prep. We'll take A quick one here. You're watching WIAA quarterfinal playoff football on STSPN.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Back here, and what an opening drive, Steve. You're a defensive coordinator. What's the defensive coaches right now from Lake Stevens talking about?
Yeah, well, hopefully they're getting something figured out because they are heavy in the box and they're not able to stop that dive play yet. So they got to talk about their reads and what they're looking at.
This is the 9th play of this drive. Still 2nd and goal for the 3. This is Mikalele trying to get there, and he's brought down by big Aaron Parker, 77, the 6'2" senior for the Vikings, and sets up a 3rd and goal. They're going to give him a yard, maybe.
And that's 2 plays that they went to their favorite back right there. And now you're starting to think, are they going to fake that now and go outside? Lake Stevens got to defend the whole field.
Do they? They give it up to Mikalele. Is he in?
It's going to be 4th and short.
Oh, my. The line judge coming in, putting him right on like the half-yard line. And you're right, it's going to be 4th and goal.
Boy, and Gonzaga did not hesitate with this play. They knew exactly what they wanted to do.
Mikalele in the background. Gets it.
Yeah.
Touchdown, Bullpups.
Wow. What an impressive opening drive by Gonzaga. Right down the field. They did exactly what they wanted to do on that drive, and Lake Stevens had a hard time slowing them down at all.
10 plays, 71 yards, and it's capped off with a yard run for 23. Lilo Mikalele, his 18th touchdown this year. Tough snap. The hold was a great job there, and number 85, Matthew Herzog, puts it up.
That's just great execution. When you run an offense like this double wing veer offense, it's just about executing. You really feel when you go into a game that you can do pretty much what you do, and it's going to work out.
Could we have a blowout? Stay tuned. We'll see the Vikings up next. Thank you. Lilo Mikalele, 8 carries, 41 yards. Steve Hannon, that's something we got to look at. How do you stop 23 and white if you're Lake Stevens? And we'll see. They got to feel good about their offense coming up as well as head coach Tom Try.
Well, it puts a little bit of pressure on the offense now, doesn't it? You've got to answer this right here.
Herzog will kick it off, back to receive. And he kicks it out of bounds, so that'll be a penalty.
That is not what you want to do, and that young man is going to get a talking to when he goes over to the sidelines.
Varela was there to return it. So head coach Tom Try, he's really the offensive guy. His 18th season here, Lake Stevens. They were in the state championship last year against Graham Kapowison, and Graham Kapowison won last night, so whoever wins this game is going to face them one more time.
Yeah, congratulations to Graham Kapowson. That Sumner team's a legit football team. Keith Ross does a great job down there.
So they'll start at the 35-yard line, and it's Colton Matson, the freshman. He hands it off. That's Jaden Lamar. heading to Notre Dame, picks his way on the far side, down all the way into Gonzaga Prep territory. How's that for a first down and much, much more?
That's going to settle down that entire sideline right there. You'd be surprised how important that play was right there for Lake Stevens after that drive from Gonzaga.
A huge play right there all the way to the 40. 25 yards on the first play from scrimmage. Matson goes back, rolling, passing, looking, it's caught. And that's another Lake Stevens first down, that one to 33. David Brown, a sophomore.
We are just watching a clash of styles here. The Lake Stevens offense is executing, Gonzaga Prep's offense is executing, and the defenses are scrambling early on.
So 17, Jaden Lamar, the phenom. He is either broken or set every Lake Stevens rushing career yardage. He's got 26 touchdowns coming tonight, heading to Notre Dame, and here's the pass. LaPlante gets it to Lamar. Lamar looking to get another score. He gets inside the 10, down to the 7.
He is so difficult to tackle.
It looks like he's just so smooth, right?
Yeah.
We said this, we've gotten a chance to cover him here for a couple years. And he's just so smooth.
Skipping and hopping. He's just out there playing the game and enjoying it, and he's just such an incredible athlete.
They'll say he's at the 8, first and goal at the 8-yard line. And Colton Matson there at quarterback. He gets to Lamar. Lamar tries to make a move, strung out, and great job there by Gonzaga in pursuit.
Really well done on defense. Way to keep that outside leverage and chasing that inside hip, and there's someone protecting the sideline, and Jaden just couldn't quite get out there on that particular run.
Number 16, Kai Van Curler, 5'11", the sophomore, did a great job. And helpers came quickly, sets up a second and goal. They're going to say gained a yard of the 7.
There we go. He's on
and
the
now
outside.
it's number 9 on the right side. Is he in? Yes, touchdown for Paul Valera.
Yeah, and we're just watching this clash of styles of offense, and it makes a clash of styles for defense. We saw Lake Stevens come out with 5 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers, and you look at Gonzaga Prep, they have 3 down linemen and 2 linebackers just trying to control Lake Stevens' wide open offense. And again, both defenses struggling on both ends.
Paul Varela with the 7-yard run to cap it off. Here comes McCray Flanders on for the extra point. And I'm not sure what we expected, an offensive juggernaut? I'm not sure, but ladies and gentlemen, it's 7-7. Do not go away.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
My goodness, as you see on your screen, Lake Stevens huddling up there, the kickoff, the special teams. Jaden Lamar did a lot of the work, but Valara kind of put it in there. And it's right now, we were just talking in the break. You're a defensive coordinator, you're a defensive coach. There's no defense right now, or it doesn't look like it, I should say.
Just glad I'm sitting up here tonight, not down there trying to figure out how to stop these two teams right now.
Local Lake Stevens, just a tremendous program here. And the fans going. Again, Gonzaga Prep traveling well on the far side of the field. McCray Flanders will kick it off. And we have Bo Howell, 11 in white. And Sam Oman. And Howell will take it in the end zone. That'll send it out.
They're going to have a long way to go now, but, you know, they're just, let's see if they can come out and execute, and that's the key for Gonzaga Prep. They have to execute that offense. They have to look for slivers in the defense where they can get their 3 or 4 yards and keep the clock going. where Lake Stevens is just looking for these big open patches and trying to get the ball to athletes in space. It's been a fascinating game so far to watch these two teams execute so well.
Lake Stevens, unofficial again, I had him as 8 plays, 65 yards. And both teams on offense doing exactly whatever they want. And we'll see what the Bullpups can do from their own 20. JoJo fakes the handoff, now pitches it out. And this is 25, Omen. Sam Omen, the 6'2", 185, the senior who's been part of that monster rushing attack.
And everything comes off that fullback dive to start, and that's what's sucking the Lake Stevens defense in. They just have so many guys in the box. Look at that, there's no one in the middle of the field.
Second down, this time it's covered up well, gets across the 25 to the 26. We'll set up a 3rd and 5.
It was covered up well, but he still got 3 yards right there, and that's what Gonzaga Prep is saying. Hey, you guys did a great job on defense. We still got 3 yards, and now it looks like it's 3rd and 4.
Yeah, 3rd and 4 is what they're going to give them. So the first actual 3rd down, kind of medium distance. Here's JoJo, he pitches it out. And the big fella is taken down, Nick Banky. And that time the Viking defense held strong in that right side, the big fellas.
Yeah, and we saw 2 times Gonzaga try to get outside, and their back only touched the ball 1 time on that series. And Gonzaga's Prep is now punting, so we'll have to keep track of that.
Herzog on to punt as well. And
rugby-style punter.
yeah, Barella back to receive it. He calls it off, and it'll be downed. They'll put it at the 44-yard line.
And as explosive as Lake Stevens is on offense, you don't want to set them up at midfield to start their drives. You want to make them.
Yeah, no, you don't. Well, let's talk about it. And as you see, if the camera's shaking, that's our stadium. The fans here, they're fantastic.
They were pretty excited about that stop right there.
Yeah, if you've ever been to Husky Stadium and back in the old days, actually, when the crowd's going, the camera's shaking. So Lake Stevens here starting at their own 44. I'll talk to you in a second, defensive guy, and what Lake Stevens did differently last time to get a 3 and out. And here's Matson. He's going to run it over. There's Lamar on the far side. Lamar cuts through. The 41 guy to beat.
That's what he does.
Gets down to the 30.
He does that as well as any back I've seen in high school, where the defense plays it right. They have a guy there to make a play. They get hands on him, but he runs through it. And then he's so explosive. He's down the field. What was that, 20 yards, 25 yards?
Yeah, it was 25 yards. The tackle there, part of it was number 30. The coaches said, I just said Ige. He goes by Ige. The play-by-play guy never wants a tough name, but actually I love tough names. But Ige with a good tackle there. 1st and 10 now for Lake Stevens. This time it is Lamar again. Just right up the gut, and he'll get close to, if not, another 1st down inside the red zone.
And this is the problem with playing Lake Stevens, is you want to have a light box because of all their athletes on the edge, and they get you with those fast screens, and then they just give it to the best player on the field right up the pipe, and he gets 10 yards in a flash.
He's coming off the field right this second just to get a breather probably. And number 34 will come in, and he's no stranger. No. Esteban Sedano, he knows what to do with the ball as well.
Yeah, he's more of a power runner, though I hate to say that. Even with Lamar, he can run hard as well.
Multiple ways to beat you. 2nd and 1. Matson, he gets it to Sedano, and he gets a 1st down easy. And he gets down into the 15-yard line. So Stevens knocking on the door one more time.
Yeah, so here now you're thinking your Gonzaga Prep and their defensive players thinking, if we can't stop this run game, eventually you're going to have to bring somebody into the box, which leaves you 1 safety instead of 2, and now you can't cover the edges or the middle of the field as well. They get you in a conundrum. Now they're in an empty set, no running back at all.
Isaac Redford in the far right, number 14, one of their big-time receivers. And here's Matson. He's going to look back, and he gets it back to Lamar. Lamar down inside. They're going to say he didn't get the touchdown. It's at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and they brought Jaden inside to start. You saw that little half motion, and they brought him in, and then they just ran him to the outside thinking his speed is going to beat whoever happens to be out there, and they weren't wrong. That's exactly what happened there.
Jackson Crocker, the senior, saves the touchdown with a good job.
Now let's see
One
if
of their leading
Gonzaga
tacklers.
changes up their defense. There's some big gaps up there, right up the middle here.
Matson hands it off to Lamar. Lamar gets stuck. Does he get in? No, and Ige in there along with number 42, Preston Yim, for the stop, and they're going to put him right inside the 1, Steve.
That is fantastic defense, and I love that about playoff football. No one's giving up out there. They got a kid going to Notre Dame, get the ball, and the outside linebacker stands him up, and the safety is right there to clean up the tackle.
2nd and goal. Is what the sticks say. Matson, Lamar, and he's punched out, but extra effort, he's in, and Lamar with a touchdown for the Vikings.
And he does that really well. When you think you got him for a no gain or a 1-yard gain, he always finds ways to get those little extra yards. And you think you did a good job on defense against him, and he ends up getting yards anyway.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen, but if you don't score when you have the ball, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, it's kind of looking that way, right?
McCray Flanders on for the extra point. Louis Alvarado with the hold. The kick is up, and it is good. And with 1:56 left in the first quarter, the quarterfinal state playoffs 4A, 14-7 Vikings. Well, the young man, number 17 in the purple, you're going to see him on Saturdays. You have him here, 6 carries, 50 yards, and 2 catches for more.
It could be the battle of the backs here coming up. These 2 great backs that we're going to watch tonight, and one of them is going to carry their team to victory here. Let's see in this offensive series how Gonzaga attacks Lake Stevens' box defense with all those players right in there.
56 yards on the last drive for Lake Stevens. I have them at 7 plays. And here's the kickoff. It's taken. Nice up kick. Here's a good run back by Gonzaga Prep. Great job there once again by Bo Howell, and that puts the Bullpups in great field position.
So important for them to get that kind of field position. We were talking, you don't want to give Lake Stevens the ball in the 50, and you definitely don't want to do that to your opponent either. That really helps out Gonzaga.
From their own 42-yard line. 3 and out their last drive. They went all the way down the field in their first drive as they got the ball, and they'll get it to Lilo. And Mikalele gets a nice gain of 5 or 6.
Yeah, and in the last offensive series for Gonzaga, 3 plays and they had to punt. He only touched the ball 1 time. So I'm curious if their coaches said, he's touching the ball twice no matter what on all of these series, and that'll probably give them a better chance of moving the sticks.
Only gave him 4. I gave him more yardage, so it'll be 2nd and 6.
They're stingy up here.
Yeah. No, I gave him more.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're being stingy. No, that was good. And he'll take it. JoJo takes it himself, and he'll get a couple yards. So we'll talk about what Lake Stevens has done different this drive on defense and the earlier one, the 3 and out.
Yeah, I don't think that they've done much different. It's like they're still in that 5-3 front, and sometimes kids just get off blocks better, and sometimes it's just a matter of athlete on athlete.
So 3rd and 3, this is big. He flips it out, and he got a Bullpup first down, and that's Sam Oman.
That was a really good fake right there. To number, what's the
Mikelele, yeah,
Mikelele.
23.
Great fake to him. The defense collapsed on it, and they pitched it outside for the first down.
Here they go again. Mikelele, this time, no, he pitches it out. And a great play there. Faked out my binoculars and everything. Almost another first down by 24 Nick Banky.
They found something that they like right there. Lake Stevens is concerned about Mikelele.
Yeah, Mikelele.
But there you go.
Mikelele gets it one more time right up the gut, and it crosses the 30 to the 29-yard line. That's going to be another G-Prep first down. Just another well-executed drive. Lake Stevens has stuck everybody inside the box to stop that kid, and now they're pitching it outside, and Lake's going to have to adjust to that next. Well, we'll see if the Bullpups can close it in and get it home. That is the end of one. We'll go to the second when we return.
You may have heard the phrase, the early bird gets the worm. Well, at Bickford Ford, the early bird gets first crack at the new 2023 Fords. Right now, order a new 2023 Ford F-150 and move to the front of the line for America's #1 truck for the last 45 years. Or start your order on the 2023 Ranger, Edge, Bronco Sport, or Explorer. Washington's #1 volume Ford dealership. Bickford Ford on Bickford Avenue in Snohomish or at bickford.net.
Back here, Lake Stevens High School, our quarterfinal state playoffs. Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon with you. Glad you're here with us on STSPN. They flip the field. Here's Mikelele again up front. He's bear hugged and taken down by big number 53, Kenneth Buckmiller for the Vikings, but he'll gain a couple.
Yeah, a couple meaning 3, right? And that's what Gonzaga wants to do. They want to get 3 yards. They want the clock to run, and they just want to keep pounding you. And those guys up front are getting it done.
It was 2nd and 7. This time he fakes it. He's going to pass it. JoJo going deep for Howell. It's incomplete. There's some laundry on the field.
Yeah.
Redford on the coverage there.
It looks like Redford might have grabbed him when he came out of his break. He's running a 10-yard corner route, and he got outside of him, and he just reached out and grabbed him.
A rare pass here for JoJo Chotel. 24 completions on 61 attempts, only 575 coming to tonight. 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
And you got to be disciplined with this as a coaching staff. When you run one of these wishbone pitch dive type offenses, you do want to throw it. But when you're running the ball so well, you're like, why should we throw it? We're just running it. But that's when you want to throw it.
Yeah.
When the defense is all stacked in there to stop the run. So a great job on this drive by the coaching staff at Gonzaga.
Bo Howell, their top receiver, here we go again. Pitches it out. Omen to the right side, avoids one tackler.
Yeah, there's only one defender out there to stop that play, and Gonzaga Prep has got that figured out, and they're starting to attack the perimeter. And it might cause Lake Stevens to put another defender out there, which takes one out of the box.
2nd and 7 on the Lake Stevens 13-yard line.
And I don't want to take anybody out of the box because they're going to feed that fullback.
Mikelele, the back, they fake it. He's going to pass again, trying to go. Not sure who they were trying to go. It's kind of in between pass there. Incomplete, sets up a 3rd and 7.
Yeah, again, you got to be judicious when you're throwing the ball when you're Gonzaga Prep. It's not something that you do, and you can't afford not to get yards on plays.
Here we go, 3rd down, big play. Fake it to Mikelele. Out here, Banky on the near side, and he's cut down What a defensive play by Stephen Lee Jr.
It was a great play, and he's fighting off of a block. The offense does get their 3 yards, but now it's going to be 4th down and 3, and it's like they're going to send out the field goal unit.
And they've got a good one. Herzog. Has plenty of leg. They trust him here, and we're looking at a 27-yard field goal attempt. The hold's up. The kick is up, and it is good from 27 yards. A field goal. Sometimes you don't see a lot of those in high school football, but they close the gap to 4 with 9:55 left in the first half.
A well-executed play to get points. You're exactly right.
Back here, Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon, the defensive coordinator. Even though you're up here in the booth, Steve, it can't leave you. You're like, what are they passing the ball for?
Well, and we talked about, we know that you want to throw the ball when they think you're running the ball, but you have to get yards on that 3rd down play. And, you pick up 3 yards on that 3rd down play, and then maybe you have a better chance to go for it on 4th down. But they got points, and that's what you have to do, eat up clock and get points. And now you almost have to hope for Lake Stevens to make a mistake on offense, because right now they look like it's going to be tough stopping them.
The Bullpups, they came out on fire. 10 plays, just drove right down the field, no problem. Mikalele with the touchdown. And then same thing, Lake Stevens came right back at him as a little pooch kick, and the up man doesn't able to get it. It's picked up around the 19-yard line, and that's Cassidy Belong-Banks, and he can scoot. Watch the sophomore. He's one of their phenom youngsters here as he makes something out of nothing. There's laundry on the field. He gets to the 32.
Yeah, you spend so much time worrying about number 17, Jaden Lamar, and number 4 can sneak up and get you.
Oh, yeah.
He is an athlete. There's a couple of flags out there.
There's flags everywhere. We'll hear from Jeffrey Ospen, see what happened. Go down to the field, our Jeff Matson.
Personal foul. I have
That's
never
going to
seen
go
that.
on the kicking team, or the receiving team.
That should have been against Lake Stevens. I think he might have pointed the wrong direction.
Okay, yeah. Oh, did they?
Did they point toward Lake Stevens? Oh, I'm sorry. I saw it go the other way.
Yeah, they're backing him up. A lot going on here. So going to put it on the 9-yard line. Here we go. Colton Matson, he gets it to Lamar. Jaden trying to dance his way and tiptoe on the sideline there. We'll see where they put him out.
Boy,
about 6 yards.
It looks like that was an easy 6 yards, it looked like. He's just hopping and skipping and jumping and playing.
Yeah, he's so relaxed.
Yeah, he's just playing, just having a good time out there. It's so annoying.
His younger brother injured early in the season. Another just spectacular athlete. Jayshawn Lamar.
Nobody back there right now.
No. And Matson's looking for somebody. Goes over the middle. It's caught, and there's Becker. Cole Becker at the 30. Has some room. Stiff arms one guy. Down to the 50. 40. Finally drug out of bounds at the Gonzaga Prep 40-yard line. What a play, and welcome everybody. That's Cole Becker.
And they don't throw it to Cole very often. He's obviously an accomplished athlete, and he can make plays for them. They have so many other guys that can make plays that you don't get his name called all that often.
He's got, 382 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns coming in, the junior, and that was a huge swing from their 9-yard line. or their 13-yard line to come all the way to the 40. Colton Matson now has him in business. Sophomore, he's going to take it himself. He loses the ball. The ball's down, but he recovers.
It went right back to him. He lost it, it was gone, and it bounced off another player and went right back to him as he laid on the ground. And Gonzaga's gone to a 4-man front to help slow down that run game.
Colton Matson, just a sophomore, kind of got the job off and on. They went with 2 different quarterbacks. LaPlante, he sometimes now receives the ball. You'll see 2nd and 9 here for Lake Stevens. 8:46 left in the ball in this first half. And Lamar is taken down. Great job there by the Gonzaga Prep. That's Kevin McKiernan, and he's one of their studs, the 6'3 senior.
Boy, you said it, man. What a great play. Because I've seen Jaden Lamar go left, plant his foot, and come back right and just run down the sidelines. And that the number 5 for Gonzaga Prep was not going to let that happen.
Kiernan, one of their leading tacklers as well. This defense, the Bullpups, they only allow 19.8 points per game. And if they can do that to this fast offense, it does 40. This time they get it over, and it is number 4. That is Belong Banks, Cassidy Belong Banks. And earlier this year, you saw a lot of that play.
Just fly
as the
sweep.
defensive coordinator for Glacier Peak.
Yeah, fly sweep to that kid will get you. And Gonzaga had it pretty much sniffed out. They had a player unblocked there to make a play. And you know, number 4 can make a guy miss for sure, and that's how they get yards.
5'10", just a sophomore, 412 receiving yards. He's got 306 rushing yards with 3 touchdowns. He is dynamic, to say the least.
Yeah, lightning.
So another first down here. As they give it here to Lamar. He's tied up. Nice job by the big kids up front, big 92. And that's their stud, Luke Miller, the 6'2 senior captain. He leads them in tackles, solo 44.
And that's a direct snap right to Jaden, and they run a little trap play off of that, and Gonzaga did a great job up front.
I want to thank Corey Deshawn here for his donation. As on our YouTube stream, you can check us out, STSPN, all the social channels, as we have 2nd and 8 here. Colton Matson with Jaden Lamar to his right. Fakes it to him. He's going to pass. No pressure there. Gets it off. It's caught by Lamar. Lamar, one guy to beat, and he puts him down and puts it in. Jaden Lamar.
And the quarterback does a fantastic job of standing there in the pocket. The defense is coming right in his face, and he just calmly throws the ball right over their heads, and Lamar's in the end zone again.
28 yards this time for Jaden Lamar. We'll get the calculator spinning and see if we can tell you how many yards he has all-purpose as McCray Flanders comes up for the extra point. Hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good. And don't feel too bad. Number 20, Ryan Jackson, the Bullpup there that Lamar met at about the 4. And you're one of many who have been put down by the skill, strength, and power of Jaden Lamar. We'll be back with more right after this.
You have to be a good individual first before you can be a good team player. I know for a fact how bad Hell Week is. I went through it a couple times. It's probably the most brutal military training anybody can go through. So everybody to my left and everybody to my right, they've been through this. So I know mentally, you know, these individuals are extremely hard. And when stuff gets bad in, you know, in any situation, I know these guys have my back.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You know, you can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
Back here, as you see Lake Stevens High School. See the cheerleaders going. It is November. A happy Thanksgiving week to everybody out there. Also want to thank Casey Johnson from the WIAA for making this all work on STSPN and be able to provide this great football game in the quarterfinals. O'Day getting by Stanwood there in the 3A, 42-21. We'll see if we can get more scores as Flanders kicks it off. And it's taken by Howell there at the 11. Brings it up, great job, and a good tackle by number 8, Jackson Lewis. But again, the Bullpups have decent field position.
And that's really important for them. This drive is actually really an important drive. There's 6 minutes to go into the half, and they need to chew up a majority of this time, and they need to score a touchdown. I think they're getting to the point where they can't survive on field goals.
21-10, 6:32 left to go. Shortell gets it, keeps it, gets it off. And that's Big 24, who's gotten a lot of the carry, Nick Banky, tonight. And he's a load, and we'll see what they'll give him. I don't think they're going to give him anything.
No, and they ran that option play to the boundaries to try to trick things up. But man, you got to get the ball to your guy, I think, right now. So if I'm a defensive coordinator for Lake Stevens, I'm looking right at number 23, and I've said that ball's going to him next.
Lilo Mikulele, again, over 1,100 yards, 18 touchdown. He's got the one early. This time, Shortell takes it himself, and nothing is there. And this time, the Vikings aboard the ship there. And again, it's going to be 3rd and 10 if they might give them a yard.
And now they're in a situation where you would think that they almost have to throw the ball here, and that's not what you want to do when you're Gonzaga Prep.
Got a Viking slow to get up there. Their captain, Grant Litch, 6'2", junior. Hopefully he's okay. And
he's coming off on his own power,
so
he'll probably get looked at here, maybe retaped or something like that.
Ashton Hendrickson, 66, will come to join him. And we don't talk a lot. We saw him, Cole Becker, with a big reception and play. He's out there at defensive end, Steve, as well. And there's some spectacular two-way players on both squads.
Yeah, I mean, that's
but they only get called out for their offensive numbers, not their defensive numbers.
That's so annoying.
I mean, the entire drive here, Steve Hannon just yelling at me, why don't the defenders get more play?
There's kids making plays on defense, too, out there.
We have a timeout in the field. We'll take one as well. Quarterfinal, 5:16 left to go here in this first half. You're watching STSPN.
People say that there's no such thing as superheroes. That superhuman strength is only something you read about in comic books. They say men can't fly, and they can't breathe underwater. That's because they don't know my dad.
The Navy SEAL Foundation is committed to supporting the warriors and families of naval special warfare. Join us at NavySEALFoundation.org.
Back here, Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon. And you talked about this, Steve, for Gonzaga Prep, this is a key drive. I know, not to get too hyperbolish as far as 21-10 with 5 minutes left to go in the first half, but it's just all kinds of mojo. They gotta get something cooking.
And now it's 3rd down and 8, and they use the timeout to set up something that they need to get 8 yards.
Fake it, and they're gonna pass. JoJo going over the right side in double coverage and looking for a flag.
Well, it looks like there is a flag.
They were trying to get it to Max Johnson, number 15.
They hit the quarterback late. Is that what we're looking at here? Holy smokes.
That's a personal foul there. Jeffrey Osmond, our referee.
Wow, is that a big play for Gonzaga? They were going to have to punt right there.
3rd and 9.
They had a chance to score again before the half. Now you would think Gonzaga is going to say, okay, look, those 3 plays didn't work and our dude didn't touch the ball. Let's see what happens if we give it to 23.
as they hold up the signs there. 5:10 left to go. 21-10 as the sun sets here and the lights are on. And they give it to big 23, Mikalele, and he roughs it up, and he gets a nice first down.
Yeah, I mean, I know
4 or 5 yards.
I know what their coaching staff is thinking. There's a bunch of purple dudes in there, stuffed in there to stop him. But when they give him the ball, he gets yards.
Just 5'10", 180.
Tough runner.
Last week he had 190 yards, 3 touchdowns in the win against Kamaikan. They fake it to him. Now they pitch out Banky. Short room out on this side, and he's cut down there. Again, a good play on defense there by Gabe Kalani.
Yeah, but this is what Gonzaga Prep wants. Right now it's 3rd down and 3. They're on Lake Stevens' side of the field, and they're right in their comfort zone on this 3rd down call. Again, I'll be surprised if they don't give it to number 23.
JoJo with Lilo in the back, and they get it to Lilo, and he gets a, are they going to narc it? It looks like it is a Bullpup first down, close.
Yeah, but it looks, this is
and
how they want to play, right? This is what we were talking about. This is what they want to do now. There's 4 minutes to go in the half. They chew 2 minutes off the clock. They're getting first downs. They're eking them out. This has been an effective drive once they got 23 involved in the offense.
Their scoring plays so far, 10 play drives, and they're on their way. This will be their 7th. 1st and 10 here. Fakes it. Now he's got trouble, and he goes down. It's Becker who gets to JoJo first, and a big loss back to the 49. We'll see where they put him.
Yeah, and there you go. Now it's Lake Stevens that makes a big play on the defensive side of the ball and really puts Gonzaga now in a difficult spot with the offense that they run.
Yeah, 3rd and 15.
Or 2nd, right? Is it 2nd? Is that a first down?
2nd down. Yes, you're absolutely correct. So I got to trust the marker.
2nd down and 15. I mean, they need to pick up 8, 9 yards on this play.
Fake to Mikalele, get it out. And this is Omen. Omen's got a little room. He makes up a lot of that loss. He gets up inside the 40 to the 38, so that sets up a 3rd and reasonable.
Really important play for Gonzaga right there. You're right, exactly. 3rd and reasonable. And if they don't get it here, now they have a decision to make. Do they want to try to get the first down? Or are they going to punt and try to get Lake Stevens down? It's going to be interesting what they do here.
2:36, 1 timeout left for Gonzaga Prep in the 2nd quarter, down 21-10. Here's JoJo. And he gets it to Mikalele. Mikalele stretches across the 35 to the 34.
And I think, don't you go for it here.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
4th down and 2. You give it to that kid again. I mean, I don't care how many purple jerseys you have in the box. I'm giving it to that kid. Look at the kid. Look at him out there right now, Scott. He's like bouncing around like he's a prize fighter. Give me the ball, coach.
4th and 2. Micah Avery was on that tackle for Lake Stevens. Here we go. Big play here in this game.
Same play.
And Mikalele, did he get it?
I think he's short.
Oh, my. It's going to be not enough.
Good job by Lake Stevens defense, getting off of blocks and pinning in all those interior cracks and creases that Gonzaga Prep's been using to get yards, and they filled them all up that time and were able to stop the Bulldogs and turn them back.
Big 72, Navir Kale, 6'1", the junior, 250-pounder up there.
Now, did that drive take up enough clock time to keep Lake Stevens out of the end zone?
Well, we've covered them quite a bit over the years. My answer is no. $1:48 left to go in the 2nd quarter. We'll see what Colton Matson, the sophomore, can come up with. Lamar goes in motion. Matson back to pass. He's going to go deep, right for the jugular. It's intercepted! Intercepted! And that's Ryan Jackson for the Bullpups.
You know, when you live by those deep balls, right, then you dive by them on occasion too. But if you're Lake Stevens, it's almost like we're okay with that. Go ahead.
No, the junior, sorry, that is his 5th interception on the season.
Yeah, they're stretching the defense. They're looking for other cracks, and they tried something there. It didn't work out, but for Gonzaga to go the length of the field with 1 minute and 40 seconds is going to be hard.
Yeah,
on them.
Here they go, and JoJo Shortell, he's got all kinds of trouble, and he'll lose yardage.
Lake Stevens' defensive line is doing a great job of getting penetration. It's Gonzaga's offense that's doing a good job when they're blocking down and they're pulling guys and they're leaving guys on block to read them. They're doing fine. When they try to do other things, they're running into trouble.
Hendrickson, Becker there for Lake Stevens. 2nd and 11. They were kind there. Here's Mikalele. Lilo crosses the 30 to 31. 1:03 left to go in the second quarter. One timeout for Gonzaga Prep.
I'm surprised Lake Stevens isn't using those timeouts, actually. Oh, did they just use one? No? They're going to let the clock run, I guess.
Yeah, we're down to 51 seconds.
Okay. I'm a little surprised by
yeah,
that.
I am too. 3rd and 4. Because Lake Stevens gets the ball to start the second half.
Okay, that might be what they're thinking then.
Here's a different set here. They get it over Lilo.
And now they use their timeout with 30 seconds to go, and Gonzaga's going to have to punt here.
And all of a sudden, big 52, Bryce Slezak, who's been tremendous, the junior, he's starting to get penetration. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. We'll see how we end the second half.
Thanks to Les Schwab tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's right here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Okay, back here.
They do run this rugby punt, so if he feels like, all right, they got it off.
Fair catch, I saw. It was called, and it was there, Paul.
Well, do you think 22 seconds is enough time for Lake Stevens?
We've all seen with Jaden Lamar and all the athletes they have, it's possible.
Yeah.
Tom Try, he knows he's been here many times to be aggressive. I don't know what they'll do. You just never know.
You got to look for double passes, right? You got to look for something kind of tricky. That Lake Stevens runs a crossing route, like a 10-yard crossing route with their receivers that they can get a guy open on a post. They got stuff in their book. What we haven't seen a lot is fast screens tonight or tunnel screens from Lake Stevens, which we usually get a lot of that.
Matson, the sophomore, 1,170 yards. He's 14 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 92 for 130, so he can fling it as Jaden there, Lamar goes in motion. And there's whistles all over the place.
You know, that's twice now that they've motioned Lamar out of the backfield, and an inside linebacker is running with him man-to-man, and that's not a matchup that you want as a defensive team anyway. An inside linebacker covering number 17.
That call going to go on the Vikings. They'll be pushed back 5 yards as the time, again, 21.4 seconds left to go. Still first down, 1st and 15.
I'm not sure the clock should have moved right there. It wasn't a play, right?
No, we'll see what the call is by our referee, Jeffrey Osman, and he's talking over there to Coach Try. We have our own Jeff Matson down on the field. I don't know if Jeff can clear up what's going on down there or not.
It's like they're ready for play.
They're back.
Oh, the time's back on the clock.
There it is. Yes, now it's 22.9.
There he goes
and
again.
Now,
Look
yes.
at the inside linebacker trails him.
Matson looking to his left. Now steps up. Now has trouble. Finds room. tucks it. Just about to get chased. He runs it out of bounds around the 34-yard line. Big number 55 was in chase there. That's Christian Martinez.
And Lake Stevens saw what we saw, and Jaden went into the flat like he always does, and then he wheeled up the sideline, and then inside backers tailing him, and it was just the quarterback didn't have enough time to make the throw, but that's something to look out for later on.
Puts him at 2nd and 11 with 13 seconds left. No time. Oh, it says still one timeout for Gonzaga Prep on the board. We'll see. And Lamar in motion again. They fake the handoff. Here's Matson. He goes over, throws. It's caught.
33.
Inside the 45, 44. That's number 33 for Lake Stevens. And it's again David Brown who had a big catch in the first quarter.
He's a really good player. We really liked him when we watched Lake Stevens on film. That kid can make some plays.
Lake Stevens with a timeout. We'll see if they can make something. Can they make something out of 2.5? Find out when we come back.
People say that there's no such thing as superheroes, that superhuman strength is only something you read about in comic books. They say men can't fly, and they can't breathe underwater. That's because they don't know my dad.
The Navy SEAL Foundation is committed to supporting the warriors and families of naval special warfare. Join us at NavySealFoundation.org.
As Lake Stevens, you see in the huddle, you see Scott Oshman here with Steve Hannon, the longtime coach here in the area. What are you drawing up here? What are you telling your kids?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm taking my defensive backs, all 4 of them, I'm lining them up on the 10-yard line.
They're going back. Yeah. Bo Howell going back for Gonzaga Prep.
We call that umbrella coverage, and everyone just goes back to the 10-yard line, and the ball goes up, and we want to be coming forward instead of backwards. It's one play, right? One play to stop here. They got to go to the end zone.
Matson back. See if they can get pressure on him. He sits. He's going down over the head, incomplete, trying to go for Belong Banks there, and that will end the first half. Quarterfinal WIAA State Championship football here, 21-10 Lake Stevens. We'll be back with some halftime festivities here. We'll get some numbers and some other scores. Stay with us. You're watching high school prep football on STSPN.
Come with us. The new generation. The next level. Sending it big.
You're in for a good run. Let's go.
Come with us to the track, to the trails, to the slopes, to the surf, to the fight, to the race. Look at this! To the 4 a.m. starts. Training harder, pushing further, hitting back, hard. To the fans, to the followers, and the haters. Come with us to the blood, to the sweat, and the broken bones. Cue rehab. We never quit. We never give up. We take control. To the world titles. To the world's first. The world's best.
UFC strawweight champion.
Come with us. We're just getting started.
It's going to be so much fun. I promise you.
You have to be a good individual first before you can be a good team player. I know for a fact how bad Hell Week is. I went through it a couple times. It's probably the most brutal military training anybody can go through. So everybody to my left and everybody to my right, they've been through this. So I know mentally, these individuals are extremely hard. And when stuff gets bad and, in any situation, I know these guys have my back.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You know, you can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
Bullpups, this is Witch Doctor requesting immediate hot extract. Take it on.
Here on the team, you know, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together, and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else on the boats.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
For a place, a people, an idea, for right and freedom, for liberty and justice for all, for every square inch between fruited plains and spacious skies. Marines fight to win. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Against all threats to progress and prosperity. Against all fears, excuses, and limitations trying to hold us back. We make Marines who overpower the desire to quit with the perseverance to prevail. We win our nation's battles by outmatching the most demanding missions with those most willing to engage and most determined to defeat every adversary. We develop quality citizens who keep our core, our country, and our communities side by side on the winning side. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won.
You may have heard the phrase, the early bird gets the worm. Well, at Bickford Ford, the early bird gets first crack at the new 2023 Fords. Right now, order a new 2023 Ford F-150 and move to the front of the line for America's #1 truck for the last 45 years. Or start your order on a 2023 Ranger, Edge, Bronco Sport, or Explorer. Washington's #1 volume Ford dealership. Bickford Ford on Bickford Avenue in Snohomish or at bickford.net.
stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
Full practice, witch doctor requesting immediate hot extract.
Here on a team, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else in the boats.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's right here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Welcome back. Just moments from the second half, our WIAA quarterfinal here in 4A state playoff football. Lake Stevens Vikings, Lake Stevens High School. Scott Oshman along with Steve Hannon. Just some quick numbers here before we get some scores. Steve, for Lake Stevens on the ground, 14 rushing plays for 84 yards, and Jaden Lamar has 61 of those. And with Gonzaga Prep, 33 carries on 132 yards. And Lilo Mikalele has 14 of those for 75 yards with his 1 touchdown. Jaden Lamar with 2 touchdowns. Through the air, Matson for Lake Stevens, 6 for 8. He's got that 1 INT, but 141 yards. And JoJo Shortell for Gonzaga Prep, just 1 for 2, 21 yards. Bull Howell. So we'll talk about the strategy coming in. You have some other scores across the state playoffs, both 4A and 3A.
Yeah, I thought that might be interesting for some of the listeners out there to see what's going on around high school football. Ferndale's down by 2 to Eastside Catholic here in the second quarter, 14-12, so close game there. Still working that one out.
Yeah.
O'Day looks like got the job done against Stanwood, 42-21. Yelm, who we all think is one of the best teams in the state regardless of classification, just squeaked by Kennewick 36-27.
Wow.
And the big one for us
oh
here
my
tonight,
goodness, 4A.
Emerald Ridge takes the number 1 seeded team out tonight, 40-37.
Chihuahua, the number 1 seeded team. That is massive. Emerald Ridge, that's unbelievable. That is a shocker. The winner of this ball game will meet Graham Kapowison, the state champions of 21, next as they knocked off last night's a tough, as you alluded earlier in the broadcast, a tough Sumner team, 28-21. We also know that O'Day moved on over Stanwood here from Wesco earlier tonight, and a couple big games, as you said, the Ferndale Eastside Catholic, all happening down at Memorial Stadium in downtown Seattle. But let's move directions and our attention here. 21-10 at halftime. Lake Stevens going to get the ball first. Let's go for Gonzaga. What do you want to see? What do they got to do defensively here on this first drive and try and get a stop?
It's really hard to say what they can do. It feels like it's almost like Lake Stevens has to make the mistakes on offense in order to get stopped. We saw them throw the 1 interception. But besides that, they are pretty much having their way. And I think you got to feel pretty good about where you're at right now if you're Lake Stevens. But I don't think you're real happy about only being up by 11. I think you feel like you should be up by more than that right now. But I think you feel like things are going your way.
Yeah. And this offense is, again, staying in front of the sticks, as they say. You know, they've done that big play you called out. It was a 4th and 2. They were inside, I think, down in the 30 to 20 yard line. That was a big play, and Lake Stevens stuffed them, and they turned the ball over there. Otherwise, they started out and looked like they just could do different. And Lilo Mikalele, he's just kind of had his way whenever he's gotten the ball.
It feels like in every series that Gonzaga's had on offense, if they give the ball to him at least twice, they're going to get a first down.
Yeah.
Now, you can run your option stuff because you have to, right? You got to keep the offense spread out to keep getting those yards inside. I completely get it. But you can't go 3 straight plays and not give it to that kid. I don't think you can do that and win this game.
And Gonzaga Prep, again, their longtime head coach Dave McKenna, his son, boy, he was a quarterback. He was a stud. He ripped through. Tom Try saying earlier on KRKO on Prep Sports Weekly, he's glad he graduated. He's one of those players he did not want to see again. But Dave McKenna tried to catch him off guard. He threw some passes down there in 3rd and long situations, which normally the Bullpups don't do. And you see where he's coming from, right, Coach?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we said that right when he threw it. You got to be judicious with it, and you got to throw it sometimes to get that defense out of the box. But my gosh, if you don't get yards in that offense, it's really hard to run 2 plays and get a first down.
We'll see what is in store. Matthew Herzog, the junior kicker, 85 in white for Gonzaga Prep, off to get this second half going as the temperature dips here It's been sunny, cool days here in north of Seattle here in Western Washington.
I still feel like if you're Gonzaga, your game plan doesn't change.
Yeah.
You want to run the ball, you want to chew up the clock, and you want to score touchdowns on when you have the ball.
We talked to some of the coaches for Gonzaga. It's another pooch kick, and it's taken up around the 25, fighting off defenders, and the Bullpups finally get him down across the 35 to the 37.
And pretty good field position, right?
Yeah. Good job there by Keegan Howard, number 80 for Lake Stevens, the up man, sophomore. You're a sophomore in a big state playoff game, and all of a sudden the ball comes to you.
Oh my gosh! And
wasn't supposed to.
Ooh, heebie-jeebies! You betcha. You're running around. You don't know if you're going left or right. You've never done it before, and pretty soon you get tackled, and you're like, "Hey, that wasn't so bad." This is big for the Vikings. If they go down and put one on here, I'm sure their coaches feel like we've probably got them on the run.
Colton Matson, the sophomore quarterback. Here's Lamar. We'll tell you, quite a historic night. Lamar slips a tackle as usual down the right side, and he'll get a Vikings first down into Gonzaga Prep territory. And boy, he just does what he does, doesn't he?
And again, I mean, what are you supposed to do? As a defensive coordinator, you have a defender to cover that play and that bounce, and he's there, and he just can't bring him down. I have similar nightmares when we used to play Bellevue when Buda Baker was there.
Oh, my goodness. I remember those days as well. We'll talk about Lamar. He's made history early just in the first half here as Becker in motion, 1st and 10. And they'll give it back to Jaden.
That is great
And
defense.
that's a big-time defensive play right there.
That is great defense. Taking on the block and stringing out that pitch, and the rest of the White Hats are flying over there.
Jackson Crocker, one of the first guys there, the senior.
And for Lake Stevens, it's a no gain play, but it doesn't destroy their offensive set right here, right? They still got plenty of weapons and plenty of chances to pick up yards here and get a first down. So.
Wouldn't mind to have Crocker in a team. Averages just under 8 tackles a game, leads him with 44 as we set up here 2nd and 7. Matson back to pass, now has pressure, gets rid of it, and it's complete. Down to the 30, inside the 30, Cole Becker once again, and he has been lethal for the Vikings. Another first down at the 29-yard line.
And Lake Stevens loves that crossing route, that 10-yard dig route, and it comes open. But that time, Gonzaga put pressure on the quarterback. They brought an extra player to put pressure, and he does, and Lake Stevens just makes a play.
Luke Miller almost got to him before he let that go, but now Lake Stevens threatening once again, up 21-10.
Reverse.
Oh, there's a reverse. Lamar has it. He's got a blocker in front of him.
Wow.
And a great play there. Is he down yet? No, he's still on his feet.
That
oh,
kid
my.
Is he amazing?
He is unbelievable. Kai Van Curler had him, got through the big block on 66. Ashton Hendrickson did a great job just waiting for his friends to come gang up there.
And he squared up Lamar. He had him squared up, and we assumed he's going down.
Yeah.
We should never do that.
Never. We know better than that. 24-yard line. 2nd and 6 for the Vikings here. Luke Miller giving instructions there for the Bullpup defensive line, and they get it to Lamar. Jump step, not this time, and a big defensive play there by the Bullpups.
Wow, and you see a Lake Stevens offensive lineman on his back about 5 yards downfield. That's not what they anticipated on that play.
Crocker was there. Miller was there. Ige was there, and what a huge stop. I mean, it's hard not. It's 3rd and 5, but that's a big stop for Gonzaga Prep.
Here's an even bigger play now, right? They've got to get this. They got to finish this drive up right now defensively.
In motion, Avalere. They get it to Jaden. Jaden Lamar, does he get there?
That's what he does as good as any high school running back I've ever seen. You hit him for a 2-yard gain, and he ends up getting 4 yards.
It's going to be 4th and very short. Luke Miller again on the tackle there. And this isn't even a hesitation. McCray Flander is very well versed at field goals at this range, which would be about a 30-yarder, but
what an opportunity for the defense right here to turn the ball over and completely flip the momentum of the game.
And 92 in white, Luke Miller, he switches to the other side. And here's the snap. Matson fakes it. It's a snap to Wildcat to Lamar. Is he going to get there?
Yeah, he got it.
And if forward progress, they're going to say he did. And a big, big first down for the Vikings.
And give Lake Stevens credit there. They needed half a yard, and they made sure that their guy touched the ball. They just snapped it right to him.
Wildcat.
Yeah, and let him go get the yard.
7:37 left to go in the third quarter. 21-10 Lake Stevens. New set of downs. They fake it to Jaden. And he flings it out. It's caught by Becker once again. Pushed out at the 7-yard line.
And there it is again, right? That 10-yard crossing route. They actually do it with him on the same side of the field, so it turns into a 10-yard sail route. But the result is the same. The kid's having a great game tonight.
First and goal. He's taken out of bounds there by William Alexander Durr, the 6-foot senior for Gonzaga Prep. But now it's first and goal from the 7-yard line. Matson just pushes it over to Lamar. Jaden, can he do it? Yes, he can. Touchdown, Jaden Lamar. 7 yards for number 17.
Boy, doesn't that just feel like it is going to be tough on Gonzaga Prep now to come back and get this game. But there's still plenty of time to play. They just have to get back to executing their offense and the way that they attack it and work their way down the field. But they're going to have to score touchdowns now, obviously.
And Jaden Lamar sets a school program record. That's 58 total career rushing touchdowns and also 31 touchdowns in a season for the phenom, Jaden Lamar, as McCray Flanders goes on for the extra point. It's up and it's good. He gets knocked down in the progress. And it's Lake Stevens 27, Gonzaga Prep 10. We'll see if they can answer.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's right here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Back here, Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon on a fun high school playoff Saturday here. Saturday afternoon. Usually it's college football day, and it is as well. And Huskies down in Seattle have one. Washington State, I believe, was victorious earlier over Arizona. But it's all about Saturday high school playoff football here, Steve Hannon.
Well, go Dogs, really quick. Yeah, this is going to be interesting for Gonzaga Prep now. They do what they do. Can they continue to execute? And a lot of their character is going to come out right here and their culture of their team.
Flanders, the senior, kicks it away, and it'll go in to the end zone. It'll be a touchback.
You know, like we said, we don't know a lot about Gonzaga Prep. We don't get the pleasure to watch them week in and week out because they're on the other side of the mountains. But you just get a feel talking to their coaches before the game and watching this game that they're going to come out and continue to execute and continue to fight and continue to move the ball down the field. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of quit in this Gonzaga Prep team.
Not at all. The GSL, that league, we were talking about that game at Moses Lake. He said Moses Lake is good.
Yeah.
Just didn't get that 2-point extra with $1:30 left in the game. That's how it goes sometimes. We've seen some big upsets already so far. They pick it to Banky. Banky around the far side trying to move some people out of his way. He'll pick up 3.
Yep. And let's see if that helps set up their running game inside. You know, give it back, get it back to your guy, give it to 23 and pound ahead for those yards.
Well, they started off in the first half in that first quarter doing exactly what they do to everybody. 10 plays, just grinding it as they hand it this time to number 21. We talked at halftime, that's Noah Holman. That's his first carry. The sophomore comes in tonight with 15 touchdowns and 700-plus yards.
Interesting. So he's playing fullback right now. Is 23 on the field right now?
I am looking. They got all kinds of kids back there. Again, it is 21. Noah again will get it. Holman. And I think they're going to give him a Bullpup first down, and that's big.
There you go. This is just what we talked about, and Gonzaga Prep is going to come out. They're going to run their offense. They're going to work hard. They're going to make their blocks. They're going to get their yards, and they're going to continue to move the ball down the field. And Lake Stevens, it looks like they've shifted out of that five-man front. That's interesting.
Fakes the handoff, now pitches it out. Here's Oman. Oman glides his way up to the 38, and that'll leave him in great second down distance.
It looks like Lake Stevens has decided, hey, we don't want to give up a big play here, so let's just get back into our 4-2-5, play a little safer in the passing game, and just react and run to the run game.
Head coach Dave McKenna, he knows what he's doing. 6 out of the last 8 years he's taken to the postseason. This time it is Noah up, and he makes them pay all the way up to the mid-stripe line. Holman giving a little punch here now to the Gonzaga Prep Bullpups.
Yeah, and again, Lake Stevens has changed their defensive front. They don't have the extra defensive linemen in there, and I think Gonzaga now is pretty comfortable.
We have a flag as well, and that's going to go on the Vikings, so that'll move them even farther into Viking territory. Not a lot of flags that first half.
It's a great point. Kids have played really good, executed really well on both sides of the ball tonight.
Our officials, again, from Snohomish County, Empire League, all kinds. And this time, JoJo takes it himself. He cuts it up. He crosses the 35. We'll put him right at the 35.
Lake Stevens has done a good job stopping the running game from the quarterback position. We haven't heard a lot of yardage from the quarterback tonight.
No, he's got JoJo has 428 yards on the ground coming in. He's 3 touchdowns, so he can run as well. This time they give it to Holman, but he stood up.
Great job by the defensive front from Lake Stevens that time, getting off of blocks and making plays. And sometimes it's just what it takes. It's just your individual battles you have to win. And sorry, there early on they weren't winning them. And down the field, and on that particular play, they won them, and now it's 3rd and long.
It is 3rd and 9. McGinnis on the stop on the last play, standing up Holman. And I do not see Mikalele fake it to Holman. Here's Banky on the left side. He's got to get on his horse.
That's a horse.
There's a flag coming in. He gets across the 30. But he's got a long way to go to get to the marker.
Yeah, and then I hate to be critical, but my gosh, you've been getting yards running the ball with the fullback in the middle off the dive. I get that your big play is the pitch play, that you're going to get big yards and it's 3rd and long, but gosh, you think 2 times up the middle you have a good chance of getting that first down. That's
a holding as you diagnose properly there, Steve Hannon. Shout out to Tim Boyle. There's never been a flag he hasn't liked.
Well, I wore my glasses tonight.
My usual partner out there, Tim Boyle. How you doing?
Apologize to everyone out there.
No, absolutely. We loved it.
Having to listen to me tonight instead of Tim Boyle.
No, it's
my
fantastic.
apologies.
What, are you kidding me? But that pushes him way, way back. Back to pass one more time. They're going for Bo Howell. Does he make it?
No, it hit the ground.
Oh, my goodness.
It was there, though, wasn't it?
4th down and a plane ride.
Yeah, I think you have to punt the ball. Well, obviously you don't have to, but the chances of you getting this first down with what they do well isn't good. I think this is the right decision.
4 minutes, 27 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 28-10. Lake Stevens scored. There's whistles, all kinds of whistles before the kick was off, and a timeout by Lake Stevens.
On the punt return, they just didn't have enough guys on the field, maybe?
We shall see. We'll see if that comes back at all. More right after this.
You may have heard the phrase, the early bird gets the worm. Well, at Bickford Ford, the early bird gets first crack at the new 2023 Fords. Right now, order a new 2023 Ford F-150 and move to the front of the line for America's #1 truck for the last 45 years. Or start your order on the 2023 Ranger, Edge, Bronco Sport, or Explorer. Washington's #1 volume Ford dealership. Bickford Ford on Bickford Avenue in Snohomish or at bickford.net.
All right, back here. Herzog with punt, and it's takes a bullpup bounce near the 10-yard line, and that is where it will sit. So as we went in there off camera, I did see Mikelele standing without his helmet on the far sideline. I have no idea what's going on. Hopefully he's okay.
But it's curious, right? Why would your best player wouldn't be in the third quarter in the most important offensive drive that your team's had all year?
Yeah, 14 carries, 75 yards.
His backup
on the
played
first
well.
half. Yes, and they have, again, if you've been watching them, they have 5 guys who can run the ball. So they are they have depth there, and they trust everybody. They've been doing it all year long. So we'll see if the defense can come up. They almost held Lake Stevens. They had a 4th and short. And Luke Miller and the gang held him up as we're getting a new ball.
Dude, the ball boy just about took the official's head off with that.
Jeffrey Osmond says, hey, man.
Dude, he barely got out of the way of that.
It's a little too much sauce. Colton Matson, the sophomore quarterback. And he gets it to the elder statesman there, Jaden Lamar. Doesn't look like a lot, but he picks up about 5 or 6. He's taken down by Jackson Crocker.
He just hits that hole so hard.
And sometimes it doesn't look like he's hitting it hard, and then he goes 6 yards.
Yeah, he is an amazing player. Now they're in empties. They got nobody back there but the quarterback.
2nd and 3. Lamar in motion. They fake it to him. Matson going to keep it himself and go right over Ige with the tackle here. They'll get it to a Viking first down, another one.
And it's a good time to make that call. You only need 2 yards for the first down. Your quarterback's not really a runner, so you use that play to tell the defense, hey, we have plays in the book for him to run the ball. So you gotta take care of that as well on the defensive side.
3:14 left to go. I'm sure they want to kind of chew some clock up. 28-10. Lamar fake it. Now they're going to go to pass. He looks for Lamar. Now he goes and floats it back over to Lamar. It's broken up. Ige with a nice job there. Incomplete.
And this is what
the Lake Stevens were on their side. You can hear they're not happy. They want a flag.
You got an inside linebacker chasing Jalen Lamar down the sideline. We talked about this earlier. They were going to come back to that, and they picked that time to do it. And the Lake Stevens fans might have something to jeer about right there. That looked a little handsy to me.
You defensive guys always want to call, I tell you.
He did a great job, that inside backer, but that's a tough position to be in.
Still just 2nd down and 10. Empty now. Here's Lamar. Comes over. He's going to cross. Going to back to pass again. Looks like they set up the screen, and they do.
Uh-oh.
White jerseys flying by. Here we go. The Jaden Lamar Show. Streaming live in front of you down to the Bullpup 37.
You have to know where that kid is on the field at all times, regardless of who's rolling to the right. If that kid's going to the left, you better have someone out there. And that time they got Gonzaga Prep sleeping a little bit.
You get them 1st and 10, incomplete, 2nd and 10. You shut it down a little bit, and then bam.
Doggone. They're impressive. Lake Stevens is impressive on offense.
Long history. These two teams met just a year ago. Matson back to pass. Looking now, he's got pressure, gets out of it, and he has plenty of room down the sideline. Can he get all the way? He loses the ball, but he gets it back at the 5-yard line. Oh, Colton Matson, he saw the house, and he wanted in.
And there was no reason for that ball to come out at all. It's just an unforced fumble, and it comes right back to him again. A fortuitous bounce for sure. But you saw a little bit of speed and some explosiveness out of that first step, and he was down the sidelines in a hurry.
6'2", 180.
Long legs,
Is a sophomore, yes. He can chew it up. So another just massive gain here and puts him 1st and goal at the 5. And we'll see if the all-time Lake Stevens career leader can add to it. And yes, he can. His 4th tonight.
And Lake Stevens is now just rolling. Just rolling.
34-10 before the extra try. And
I know what Gonzaga Prep is feeling right now.
Yes, you do. It's oh too familiar for you, my friend.
Just the tidal wave just starts to roll over you, and you don't have the answers, and your players are looking at each other. And
here's Flanders on for the extra point. The hold is good. It's up, and it is good. 35-10. Well, Jaden Lamar in the big win over the Jaguars. Steve, he only had 248 yards and 4 touchdowns. He might be right at that mark. We'll see if we get more after this.
SWCC is an acronym, and it stands for Special Warfare Combatant Craft Crewman.
You know, you can stand across from the guy and say, you know what, he's got your back. And, you know, that's the guy you're counting on. If something goes wrong, he's going to be there.
In the end, we're fighting for each other.
Full practice, switch doctor, requesting immediate hot extra.
Here on team, about 22 of us on the boat. You know them personally, so you know exactly whose life you have in your hands.
Everyone's come together, and everyone's sole mission is to do their job individually as best they can to benefit everyone else in the boat.
I got a brotherhood, and it's a real brotherhood, and it's a loyal and honest brotherhood, and that's what matters.
Hope you've enjoyed our coverage here, STSPN. We have been doing this for 11 or so years. Todd Elvig, our executive producer, our 5-tool player. 12 years, 13 years, I'm getting yelled at. Time flies when you're having fun. Flanders gets it off, taken at the 10. Howell had some good returns so far and does a nice job again getting him to the 27-yard line.
Gonzaga Prep's offense is just not built for this. They're not built to come back down 25 points in the fourth quarter of a football game. So they're going to have to make some big plays in their offense.
Ryan Kapowson already victorious, so waiting. I'm sure they're tuning in to see what happens here tonight. Last year, these two teams, same quarterfinal, Lake Stevens 35-14 as they carry the ball up front. Great job there to keep on his feet and keep driving forward is Holman.
It's been the best play of the night for Gonzaga Prep. It seems like they get 7 yards every time they run that dive off tackle.
And we don't know why Lilo Mikalele has not entered the game here in the second half. You see him over in the sideline standing up there. Looks like he's healthy okay.
There's another first down.
And then Holman with a G-Prep first down.
He's an explosive-looking player. 21.
Yes.
Looks like he can play a little bit.
He's just a sophomore. He's just a baby.
Oh, he's a Gonzaga baby pup.
He is. 1st and 10 for Gonzaga Prep. Fakes the handoff. Now he's going to go to the air. He's looking downfield. Intercepted! And that's one of your stars, 33, David Brown, the 6'3 junior. They've got 15 interceptions coming in on the season and make it 16.
Yeah, and Lake Stevens, because of their lead, they're able to get back to their base defense, and they're able to have 2 safeties sitting back there, and it kind of shuts down what Gonzaga Prep needs to throw the ball. It's hard to fault their offensive coordinator for trying to make a big play. They're just not built to do it.
Good to see. I'm going to guess he was trying to go to 11, Bo Howell there, their leading receiver. But Lake Stevens now in business once again. 35.5 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Matson still in there. And late in the game against North Creek, they had some backups in. They got him. Fakes it, pumps it. Now he steps up in the pocket, and he's going to take it, but he's tracked down. Nice hustle play there by, again, Kevin McKiernan, the 6'3 senior for Gonzaga Prep.
And a nice play by the Lake Stevens quarterback, who the play that they were trying to run a little Fox play out there, a little pump and go. It wasn't there, and he picked up 4 yards, or 5.
They'll give him 5.
And now the fourth quarter arrives.
And that is it. That will do it. That'll wind it down. We are through 3 in the quarterfinal. Lake Stevens, the Vikings, showing their prowess so far, 35-10. Back with more on STSPN.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon here. The quarterfinals, state playoff, seeing who's going to meet Graham Kapowson, the number 6 seed. They beat the number 3 seed Sumner. And Steve, you have another score from tonight's activities.
Yeah, the Eastside Catholic looks like they're pulling away a little bit from Ferndale, 20-12 now in the third.
And you played your team, Glacier Peak. You played Ferndale earlier down at Lumen Field as Lamar once again gets free. Crosses mid-stripe. He could go all the way. Stumbling, bumbling, Jaden Lamar, 5 touchdowns. 75 yards.
Ooh. Wow.
And a 70-yard touchdown run by number 17, Jaden Lamar.
And he's now just crushing. He's just showing off on his career Lake Stevens rushing touchdown record so far. And it's funny, I told you he had 4 touchdowns, 248 last week against.
Yeah, we're like, is he going to be able to do that tonight?
Well, last year in this game, he had 165 yards with 4 touchdowns. He's now broke that with 5 touchdowns tonight for the future Irish Jaden Lamar, as McCray Flanders comes on for the extra point. It's up, and it is good. 41-10. Look out.
Les Schwab tires. I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So turn here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Huge thank you to Mike, the longtime statistician here. The guy's a legend. 19 carries, 184 yards for Jaden Lamar, and his work isn't over as Gonzaga Prep takes it up almost just to the 30-yard line, and that's, again, Bo Howell, the senior.
So now you start wondering a little bit in the fourth quarter, right? What kind of kids is Lake Stevens going to put out there? Or are we going to get to see some of their younger players play?
Well, how do you feel? Again, you have seniors on here. It's a big night. In your high school career, we all talk about this all the time, right? It's a huge deal. A lot of these kids aren't going to get to play organized football like this again.
Yeah.
So that's the balance as the ball's handed off for Gonzaga Prep and gets a nice gain. And what that is, Mikalele.
Oh.
And again, 23.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Lake Stevens kids are going to play again next week. Maybe there's some seniors on this team that don't get to play very often. Maybe get them in.
2nd and 3 to go, and they hand it off to Lilo one more time. He stretches out, and he dives forward for a Bullpup first down. And you just got to wonder where has he been? That's the mystery we don't know up here in the booth.
Right, I mean, it doesn't look like it was an injury issue. Because he's back out there playing now. His backup sure did a good job whenever they gave him a chance to run.
The senior, 1st and 10 now for Gonzaga Prep.
They're changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Lilo back in. They're going to hand it to him right up Broadway there, and he's met by a few Vikings, and he's stuffed back, but they'll give him forward progress for about 4 yards.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's been their most effective play tonight is just that off-tackle, fullback give, and they bring that wing back in there to help block for him.
Oh, and a bumbled snap, and this time Chotel just has to secure it and make something out of something there. And does a nice job falling forward a little bit, set up
You got 2
5
plays.
yards.
Yeah, you got 2 plays to get 5 yards here. You just can't get away from that interior fullback dive that's worked so well for you, and it looks like they are getting away from it.
Pitches it out. That's 25. Sam Oman, the 6'2 senior, getting a carry, and he stretches it. And that'll be a first down for Gonzaga Prep.
Able to get to the edge, enough to get the first down and get out of bounds and stop that clock. It's effective play.
One of the things they did in the first half, I mean 42-10 here with 9:49 left in the game, is they did that hurry-up offense.
And effectively.
And they kind of put Lake Stevens a little bit on their heels. They haven't done it here. Here's Mikalele, spins out of a tackle. Now it's a foot race to the 25, down inside the 20 to the 18, and Lilo Mikalele coming on strong, finally brought down by number 6, Gabe Kalani.
Yeah, and you love to see this from Gonzaga Prep. It's just all about character. It's about high school. It's about growing up, and it's about continuing to fight.
And he gets the rock one more time. This time he's just stuffed. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. As you like to see, they're all helping each other up and patting each other on the hat.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the character that we try to coach year round. You know, the score, put it away, and just continue to execute.
2nd and 8. Mikalele again.
It's a great job. It's 3rd down and 3. Give it to that young man again.
Lake Stevens doing a great job up front. The Mason Turner, number 54, again, a 6'2 junior. I mean, they I've called a lot of seniors. They got a lot of juniors getting some incredible experience. This time they pitch it back out. Omen.
A little short, maybe. Yeah, you got to give Lake Stevens defense an incredible amount of credit. Stopping this offense, it's 10 points that they've given up.
4th down, and this is reminiscent. Earlier they had a 4th and even shorter. About 2 yards to go.
Oh my!
And Mikalele smacked! Oh my!
Wow.
Gabe Kalani says, see you later! And he stuffs him down. He shuts the Bullpups out on a long drive with a big play by Mikalele, but not this time.
And that was a shot. I mean, he filled that hole. The inside backer just ran straight. They were on a collision course from the beginning, and Lake Stevens won that one.
8:42 left to go in this quarterfinal. And just when you thought the Gonzaga Prep Bullpups would punch it in there and get it 17-42 here. Credit, again, the defense for Lake Stevens does not probably get as much credit as they're owed. They only allow 19 points. They average 289 yards a game.
Yeah.
And they have showed up once again big as they hand the ball off deep in their own territory. Now LaPlante is in, number 11, the quarterback for Lake Stevens. Caden LaPlante, 6'2", junior.
Okay. You got number 22 out there running around.
And that's Jarek Pierce, 22, for Lake Stevens. As they do get some younger kids, that was a question you asked, Steve, is they going to get some younger kids experience, and they are, and they hand it off to Pierce one more time.
Or some seniors, right? Some seniors that don't get to play very often. We'd love to see them get in this drive.
Yep. Couple yards, set them up at 3rd and a long 5. And this program, if you're not familiar with Lake Stevens, one of the largest schools in the state of Washington. And a great story as they hand it off to 23 this time, and that's Easton Munger, a sophomore. But head coach Tom Try, his daughter plays on the volleyball team, and they were in the state championship today at 3:10. We kicked off at 4 o'clock.
Oh, that's just wrong.
So
you do that to dad like that.
So I'm sure Coach Try this time, 42-10. Now he's not focused. I'm sure he's getting updates somewhere. LaPlante goes over. It's caught. And that's McMillan, Mason McMillan, with the catch, but the Bullpups right on it.
And that's that fast screen that we haven't seen all night tonight from when the varsity kids were out. They're the young kids, and they're back to the basics.
That's a staple,
yeah,
typically in the Lake Stevens offense. You've had to defend for that for many years.
Correct.
I don't want to say the outcome of a lot of those defensive times.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Anyway, Gonzaga Prep's did a great job.
This time they wildcat it, and Gonzaga all over it. And that was, again, number 23 getting some time, Easton Munger, the sophomore. So we'll call out our Adrenaline Fundraiser Player of the Game after the conclusion of this ball game.
Wonder who that could be.
Well, that's your choice. Didn't I tell you that?
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it's a shocker on everybody's mind. Munger with the ball. 3rd and 7. Or 3rd and 8. And Gonzaga Prep shuts that down. So it'll leave a 4th and long here. And looks like the punt team is coming out for the Vikings.
David Brown did have that interception, though.
Yeah. Oh, you that was a big moment. This is what happens. See, when we're up here, we do have these conversations.
I miss Tim Boyle.
Yeah. Also, a big shout out, Ron the Wedge Henthorn, usually down on our sideline for us, telling us what's going on. One of the biggest celebrities also doing the interviews. Ooh, almost blocked. Tipped it a little bit. And, ooh, good punt, big roll there. That was Flanders again, the punter.
Is that the first time we've seen the punt unit out?
I think the might be the second. Yes, maybe. Don't quote me on that. 5:03 left to go.
All right, Gonzaga, let's put together a drive here to show some character.
Absolutely. You think they're going to ride home tonight? They get a long 4+ hour drive.
Yeah, I bet they get on the buses and they head them on home.
Well, great job again. I know their fans. They are such an illustrious program in many sports, not only football, basketball. They're one of the premier programs. Banky! Look out! Banky down the sideline! Tiptoes! Touchdown! Bullpups! Oh, baby!
And the sideline erupts over there.
Nick Banky says not quite yet. 68-yard jaunt for the senior.
Maybe we should go for 2 here. And we'll get to see an onside kick maybe.
Maybe. Herzog lining it up, Matthew.
Hey, congratulations.
Steve Hannon handing out pleasantries. And it's up and it's good. So 42-17 as Steve does a wrestling act with his headset, but that's just fine. We will step away. We'll come back. 4:50 left, and we'll have a discussion here about our Adrenaline Fundraiser Player of the Game. Back here as Gonzaga Prep. Herzog punches out, didn't do an onside. Taking it to 16 or so. And flung out of bounds here near the 30. That's number 9. Paul Brella. So looking down, we have our Adrenaline Fundraiser Play of the Game. That's kind of a no-brainer, Steve Hannon. That's Jaden Lamar, 5 touchdowns, 184 yards plus. And we're just trying to figure out who's going to be our Les Schwab lineman of the night. As Lake Stevens now, kids getting some great experience. 22, Jarek Pierce.
Jarek Pierce isn't a very big young man.
No, 5'8", 140. It's a one fridge situation, we like to say.
And it looks like 140 might be generous.
Yeah, well, it's his program height and weight. You know how that is. You're what, 6'4", 220?
You're right around.
Just like me. 2nd and 9. LaPlante, the quarterback, in now for Colton Matson. Colton Matson, you could discuss him as player of the night.
Yeah, he had some big moments tonight.
Player of the game.
He's just up against Lamar.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's the problem.
The good news is Lamar's a senior and Matson's a sophomore, so he'll have plenty of opportunities.
Maybe he'll break all of Jaden's records by the time he's out.
Boy, you're right. He could.
Jay Sean?
Yeah, Jay Sean could break his.
He'll be chasing those records.
Yeah, we did a Wesco Media Night at the beginning of the season, our first time. That was a lot of fun. And Jaden's saying he's already working to try and get him to Notre Dame, the younger brother. He's like 1 year.
Okay.
Hey, come on. It's a efficient trip for the folks, Steve. Come on. You gotta go to one place. You gotta see one team.
Yeah. All right. Guess it's easy to get those scholarships.
Yeah, I know. Plant this time crushed.
4th down.
And it gets a 4th down. There we go. 2:53 to go. 42-17. So Lake Stevens will get a rematch from last year's state championship title, which they lost to Graham Kapowison. So here we go once again.
Yeah.
Take 2.
Yeah. I mean, Lake Stevens is going to be fired up for that matchup for sure.
And Flanders on to punt.
Almost got it.
Almost. Comes up, now he's going to let it go. Bounces out of bounds.
The official barely got out of the way before getting tagged with that ball.
2:09 left to go. So Gonzaga Prep, another great year for them. Congratulations to them. They had a little adversity. They had a big trip out to D.C. as they turn the ball over, and here's Mikalele. He wants more. And he has a big run, and he's going to put up some big-time stats. Or was that 25? Check that. I apologize. That was Sam Oman.
Okay.
Another senior who had a big run. Bullpups now. Pitch it on the ground. Picks it up. Great savvy play there. Good hands by Oman. And Lake Stevens all over it.
It looks like Gonzaga's got some of their kids that we haven't seen yet tonight also out there playing right now. And the quarterback just pitch wasn't perfect. Quarterback's number 10.
77.
There's another pitch to the outside.
Can he do it? And this time that's Nick Banky who had the big touchdown run.
3rd and long here.
So again, congratulations to all the seniors, the coaches, the parents. You know, Steve, it takes a village and all the effort and time these guys put in the summer, the off season. And Coach Dave McKenna knows what he's doing. Here goes JoJo going out to Mikalele, and it's intercepted by the Vikings. The second one, and he's still running. And finally brought down to close to the 40-yard line as his teammates give him all kinds of pop. It's Jackson Lewis, the junior.
Yeah, and it's a hard moment for Gonzaga at the end of this game, and they'll go into the locker room, and there'll be some tears, and there'll be some things said, and they'll take all their lessons learned from this experience, and they'll move forward with their lives, and they'll remember these times and these days with these kids and these coaches forever.
Yeah,
it's one of the great things about football. You just never forget your experience on that field with those guys.
Quite a program they built. And Lake Stevens, again, they'll play again next Saturday. Graham Kapowson. There's conflicting reports as far as where that game's going to be, Steve.
What does the bracket say? The team on the bottom is usually the home team.
Yeah, but there's also some talk again. I don't know that game is going to be either possibly at Pop Keeney Stadium.
Oh.
I think it's still TBD. I know the athletic director here would love to. They are they can host semifinal games here at Lake Stevens, and I'm sure that's what they would love to do.
Exactly. So what you're saying is that it's not just about the home team now. Now we've got to the quarterfinals or the semifinals.
Semifinals, and possibly could be,
should be in a neutral field is what we're saying.
Let's take a quick break. That is it. That'll do it. 42-17, our final. Lake Stevens Vikings moving on once again to the semifinals. We'll be back to wrap it up, and with our Adrenaline Fundraiser Player of the Game and our Les Schwab Lineman of the Game after a very short break as the fireworks here for the Vikings once again moving on towards the championship. Back here, Scott Oshman, Steve Hannon. I want to thank Josh on camera tonight. Todd Elvig, our executive producer, 5-tool player, putting all the wires together and pushing all the right buttons. Hope you've enjoyed our presentation of WIAA quarterfinal 4A football right here on STSPN. Our Adrenaline Fundraiser Player of the Game is going to be none other, the phenom. You've had to face him, Steve Hannon, many times. Jaden Lamar. I'm looking forward to see what he does the rest of this tournament and also next year on Saturdays in North Bend.
And next week is Graham Kapowson. So here's his opportunity. I'm sure that they've marked this date on the calendar, and they're excited to play Graham Kapowson, who knocked him out last year, and let's go get a win from them.
And the other side of that, the bottom side of that semifinal, number 8, Emerald Ridge. Who'd have thunk it? They are going to play Kennedy Catholic. They were victorious 38-10 over Skyline last night. So the Final Four is set for the 2022 state championship for high school 4A and all the classifications. As Jaden Lamar is going to be our player of the game, our Les Schwab lineman of the game is Aaron Parker, the 6'2", 295 senior, number 77. Those guys never get enough credit, Steve.
What's going on out there right now? No, you're right. They don't, and they make everything happen. But this is a really interesting thing going on out there right now.
Yeah, we have, it looks like the Gonzaga, is that the head coach?
Yeah,
that Dave
that's
McKenna. Coach McKenna there talking to all the kids, not only their kids. And one thing I'll say, again, we cover a lot of high school, and it is about the kids, right? Number one, very low penalties. Not a lot of penalties here tonight. Some killers on different sides. And number two, the sportsmanship has been tremendous.
It's everything that you want from young men that are growing up. Sometimes it feels like you're losing touch with that sportsmanship piece. And it's really nice to see Lake Stevens treat Gonzaga the way that they did tonight.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Hope you've enjoyed this presentation of high school football on STSPN. Check us out on all socials, our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you have not. Check us on Twitter, everywhere. For our executive producer, Todd Elvig. For Steve Hannon, this is Scott Oshman saying so long. Lake Stevens Vikings victorious 42-17 over the Gonzaga Prep Bullpups. Good night, everybody.